What's up, AtoZSports live on a Thursday. This week is just getting juicier and twists and turns at every hour, it feels like. Gonna have a great show today. Easton Freeze joining me talking about John Harbaugh's decision to go and be the Giants head coach and bailing on the Titans today because the plane was ready. They were getting ready to go wheels up to Baltimore to go to John Harbaugh's house. And John Harbaugh said, "Don't start that plane. I'm signing with a G-Man." So here we go.
Hold that plane.
Hold that plane. Hold that plane. Hold your horses. Don't fly here because I ain't coming to Nashville. So we'll discuss all of these.
Y'all can come up and hang if you want to, but I got bad news for you.
Yeah. So we're going to talk through all of this. We'll ask if this makes the Titans look bad on Harbaugh canceling on them. We'll discuss the next thing for the Titans, and there's going to be a lot of stuff in between that because there's a million directions we can go. I have like so many takes. I've been thinking we could have asked. There was like six different questions that we could ask the audience today about how do you feel about this decision, and then who's next, and then what's the next few days going to look like for the Titans, who are now sitting there today with nothing on the calendar. We're just like, all right, well, go do something with your family.
First day in a while that they've not had.
Yeah.
It's a regroup day.
It's cold outside. We can go see the sunshine here in Nashville.
Sure.
So we're going to have a great show talking. In Easton, we've got trivia at the end. And JT and I did a very good job with trivia. The chat came in strong, too. We went 9 for 9. We missed the over-under by 5 seconds, which I think is just typing errors. That's how that goes.
See, you say really well, but then you miss the over-under. So it's like,
but no,
fine.
Fine. But no, we did great because the board was a challenging board. It was There was nothing. I think it was all like orange and red. There may be one yellow on there.
Okay, so top of your class. I see.
Oh yeah. It was there was some pain personals in there that were right down our alleys that we just grooved and just crushed it. But overall challenging board. So let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Daniel asks, "Are you feeling better? Because you sound more normal."
Today's the first day in a week that I feel something close to normal. Yeah, so it's a good day for me. I feel like I'm up on the upswing. It's the first day in a week that I'm contemplating going to the gym. I probably shouldn't today, but I've got the when you get in a groove with the gym and you get sick, you start getting that itch. Like, man, I feel like I'm losing all my muscles. So we'll see. But it's a big day. You're right.
That's the one.
Plenty to talk about. A super chat off the top from Adrian. Nothing to say, just throwing us a couple of dollars. Appreciate you, Adrian. Good morning to you, my friend. And I do love now that Harbaugh is no longer a Titans prospect. The classic fan talk in the chat this morning, Austin. Daniel Krivian. Now that Harbaugh is off to the Giants, we shouldn't waste any more breath on him. The guy's Harbum is old news, says Caps. This is how it goes.
He is old. Who cares? He's 63.
That's right. You know what?
Get this geezer out of here.
After I saw that he became a Giant last night, for the first time I looked up his age and realized I don't want him. Don't want him anyways. Yep. I do love how that whole fan thing works. We'll talk about what the pivot is for the Titans and whether it's, bad news, terrible news, horrible news that he's not the Titans head coach, what they could possibly do now, whether it's embarrassing, all of that stuff. A ton to get into today. We can't do any of it until you like the show. So on Facebook and on YouTube, hit that like button for us. We would really appreciate it. It's free. It's one click of the little thumbs up button below our faces on your screen, and it's extremely helpful for us. So hit that like button and then jump into the comments. We want to hear your thoughts like Daniel Caribbean and Caps and Adrian this morning. Join the conversation. And Austin, let's get it started.
Yep, we'll soon officially welcome to AtoZSports here live on a Thursday. I'm Austin Stanley. He's Easton Freeze, our Titans reporter for AtoZSports.com. We are Nashville's on-demand sports network. We're powered by BTA Sports, and we go live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links tweeted out segment by segment on our Twitter X feed. We're there at AtoZSports. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. And as we've been doing, dropping in the link for the Google preferred source. You can follow us on Google. So when you type in Titans head coach update, Titans coaching search updates, and you follow AtoZSports, you get our content first. That helps out everybody. Also got to thank our sponsors who also help out everybody, us and you. like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs at bartondrury.com. They are local and online right there. And Window Nation, take advantage of January's deal. Buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free. 0% financing for up to 2 years. And you get a free estimate, windownation.com. So, again, shout out to Adrian for that super chat. And he did drop in what he wants for the Titans to do. And we'll get to all of those. But I think Adrian dropped the $4.99 super chat, but forgot the text. And so I did want to scroll up and give Adrian his
That's
due,
a good call.
Which now I can't find anymore because you guys are oh, there he is. He goes, "Hey, Easton, I'm calling it Shula or Sala." So,
all right. Call his
so
shot.
We will talk about what's next for the Titans towards the back half of the show because we've got the news to get to. That is, John Harbaugh is the Giants head coach this morning. Waiting on the signed papers. But here's Ian Rappaport this morning. The Giants will spend today finalizing a 5-year deal with former Ravens coach John Harbaugh, making him one of the NFL's highest paid coaches. But Harbaugh has accepted the job as the first opening is filled. Albert Breer had this also this morning of SI. The Titans had the plane ready for today with GM Mike Borgonzi, president of football ops Chad Brinker, and owner Amy Adams Strunk set to go to Baltimore to John Harbaugh's house before John Harbaugh canceled. They went after Harbaugh right from when he was let go, but knew it might be a long shot. So that's the news. Just to kind of unpack the last 18 hours. John Harbaugh met with the Giants at their facility yesterday. It was his first time going and meeting in person with a team. He had done a lot of back channeling throughout the last several days of talking to a bunch of different teams on the phone, back channeling, gathering information. We talked about on Monday how Diana Rossini said that John Harbaugh was doing film study homework on Cam Ward and Jackson Dart during the NFL wildcard round as he was taking his time to set up meetings for this week. But all it took was one in-person interview, and John Harbaugh fell in love with the Giants and then said, "No, Titans, don't come here." They had plans. Again, interesting, the Titans had plans to fly to his home, meet him at his house.
Right.
An away game for the Titans. And he said, "No."
Right.
"Never mind. I don't want to talk to you. I'm doing the Giants job." So, I guess I don't want to get into our question quite yet. We got a couple more minutes before we can kind of unpack this, but I don't know. Maybe it's a one-word opportunity on how do you feel about John Harbaugh not being your coach, right? For the fans. Now, Easton, how do you feel about John Harbaugh not being the Titans coach before we get into does this make the Titans look bad or not? Because he kind of left you on your own tarmac. So how do you feel, one word, for John Harbaugh not being the Titans coach?
Expected.
That's a bad word. You can't do that.
It's a bit. What's my one word? How do I feel about John Harbaugh not being the Titans head coach? I don't know. I mean, a hyphenated win-win would be the sunny way of looking at it. Fine is honestly the way that because as banned as the expected word is, using that in the context of the English language and not the one word game, this was expected, right? Like we talked about this being the expectation all the way back starting last week. When I put out my big coaching landing spot predictions article yesterday, the way I wrote the Giants portion of it was, depending on when you're reading this, it's either probably John Harbaugh or already John Harbaugh. So we knew that this was probably going to happen. The fascination for me was really how close the Titans could seemingly get and what the Harbaugh sweepstakes would be as a reflection on the Titans' job, the quality of the job, the attractiveness of the job. Mm-hmm. And so if you're wanting to be a sunny rose-colored glasses fan this morning and see the best possible outcome from this, it's that this is a win-win for Harbaugh because he got it sounds like the sun, the moon, and the stars from the Giants, literally anything that he could possibly ever want. And having other teams in the running, like the Titans, who were prepared to fly to meet him tomorrow, was in fact leverage to get that. I do question how necessary that leverage was, frankly, because I mean the Giants were yesterday. They were what's a PG way of putting this? They were willing to risk it all yesterday through the media to get John Harbaugh. I mean, they were shamelessly doing.
I want to know the not PG way you were going to phrase it. You can text me that offline or something.
I'm not even sure you'll understand it. It's a very Gen Z
I don't
thing.
even know because you were like, hold on, time out. What?
The specific phrase I was thinking of. If JT is listening somewhere, he'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. I mean, you'll understand what it means. I'm not sure you'll recognize it. The point is, like, I think they were willing to sell out, to sell themselves online yesterday, because the way that they were running and the New York media is just such a funny beast. They were making it very clear. John, please, John, we will do anything, John. They were giving very 7 unread text messages energy, right? Like 7 consecutive messages in a row that are like spaced out in awkward intervals because you can tell that the person is just staring at their phone waiting for you to respond. That was the vibe from the Giants yesterday. So all that is to say, I'm not sure that the Titans' leverage was a big part of the reason he got all that he wanted. I think the Giants were just going to give him all that he wanted no matter what. They're also kind of set up to give him all that he wanted because they have plenty of money. They have a GM that even they only sort of like. They you know, like what else? They're happy to have any of the staff that John Harbaugh decides he wants to be on staff. It's not like the Mars are going to be like, no, you can't hire that guy.
Right.
So I think that it was a perfect situation for him and for them. And sorry, get back to my point. The win-win of element of it is that's the win for Harbaugh. He gets everything he wants. The Titans get to spend a week in the news cycle looking like one of or maybe the second most attractive job on the market. The team that the great John Harbaugh, the starting pistol of the coaching sweepstakes, was looking long and hard into for good reason. And then you have the national media going crazy about here all the reason why the Titans' job is so attractive and a new stadium and all of these things that are, if you're cynical or if you're privy to the way that this works, or frankly, if you're a coach in the league who's one of these guys who, again, knows how this works, you see through a lot of this naturally. But even when you see through it, sometimes the accumulation of messaging is so much so that I think subconsciously it can steer you in a certain direction, right? Like there's a psychology element to this that it's like, even if you're not liable to believe wholesale any one report that you see, when it's just days in a row of report after report after report about, wow, this Titans job freaking rocks, man, then it's going to generally impact the zeitgeist, the community at large, into thinking that this job does in fact rock.
So that's an interesting way to put it, because I asked you for a one word kind of on the spot. That was not in our plan, but
right. So I gave you 13.
You gave me a long time of you just talking and me just kind of figuring out when you were going to stop, and then also trying to see if
how much of East and Austin shows are that.
No, I'm kidding.
A decent.
And then
show.
Also seeing if whatever JT is texting in our group text offline is accurate or not. It regardless, disgusting. And
that is precisely what I was thinking.
Oh God,
yes.
You guys are a miserable, gross people.
I didn't say it. It's just what I thought.
Yeah, you said it with your eyes. So I think my one word would have been distraction, because from the jump, and I want to go back to this Albert Breer tweet on the right side of this graphic. The bottom of that, the Titans went after Harbaugh right from when he was let go, but knew it might be a long shot. So I've said this, John Harbaugh is a Lane Kiffin of this cycle because he is going to be the pinstripes that everybody's staring at. It's going to hold up everybody else's process. And the Titans do not need to be completely swept up in that. Do your due diligence. Try to bring him to Nashville. Try to make sure you interview him. You give yourself the best shot to land John Harbaugh because he is the best candidate out there. Lane Kiffin was the best candidate out there in the college carousel. But don't sacrifice your entire search by going all in on John Harbaugh. And so now that the distraction's out of the way, in my opinion, the real search begins. And it's already been going. So that's where I want to get to now. And we'll talk about what's next here in a second. And again, here is, because you brought up a win-win. So to kind of reset where I think nationally the perception could be on the Titans. Because for today's Thursday, so let's say for the last 5 days, since Saturday, Diana Rossini said, John Harbaugh is doing homework on Cam Ward. That was really the first big, positive Titans are attractive in this spot. Then you had Garofalo doing that the other day. Here are these 5 things that John Harbaugh really likes. The Titans were birdieing back 9 holes in Ian O'Connor's hypothetical golf tournament for John Harbaugh and looking good doing it, right? Then you have this. The Titans had the plane ready with Bergonzi, Brinker, and the owner ready to fly to John Harbaugh's house. And he said no. So here's my first question for you guys, and I'll put up a YouTube poll. Which feels more true? This is an A versus B. There's truth in both of them, but which feels more true? The Titans look bad for Harbaugh canceling on them, or the Giants were that much more desperate? So that's where I want to get to here in a moment. Which is more true? Which feels more true? The Titans look bad for Harbaugh canceling on them, or the Giants were that much more desperate? Because even with all these tweets the last several days, a lot of the first instincts for Titans fans were Harbaugh is using the Titans for leverage. And I do not want to hear
Titans are in the cuck chair. We're going to name it the Titans chair.
You can't say both because the question is very specifically, which feels more true?
Bork, you've been around way too long to be asking that question. You know how the game works around here.
You know what? Bork asked that question to give me the opportunity to address it on the front
he's being
end.
a good teammate? I see. He's teeing you up.
Yeah. He teed me up for a good one. So I will get to all of the YouTube poll. We'll kind of, there's a ton of comments flying in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. But first, Easton, tell everybody about the Bone & Joint Institute.
You know what, Austin? I will. The Bone & Joint Institute, they are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. They are in my neck of the woods, just off of I-65. If you're in the Nashville area, just shoot down the interstate south for a couple minutes. You will not be able to miss the Bone & Joint Institute. It's like a big castle on the hill if you're heading south, right off your left-hand side. They have a fantastic state-of-the-art facility with over a dozen specialists in there who can help you through any type of injury. It's going to help you recover from whatever injury you're dealing with, and they handle it all under one roof for your convenience. So they're not sending you running around town to a million different referrals. It's got a clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab all in that building under one roof. They'll handle it all. They'll get you fixed up tip to tail. Schedule an appointment today. Go to boneandjointtn.org.
Also, do not forget, and it is been playoff time, but now it's crazy divisional round playoff time. BTA Sports, better for bettors. They got you right there. Download the app. You can use the link in the description on YouTube and the Facebook title. You click that button, it'll tee you up, just like Bork did for me. It'll tee you up to where all you got to do is plug in our code ATOZ14. You get a 14-day free trial and then a $9.99 weekly subscription. Or use code ATOZSports, still a 14-day free trial. $79 for 12 months, because 12 months, you get the rest of the playoffs, you get all of Major League Baseball, you get the entire regular season next year to become a better sports bettor. BTA is great. They're on top of it. I've made money and I've saved money by not making bad bets throughout this NFL season. So check them out, BTA Sports, better for bettors.
Here's a pitch, Austin. The only money BTA Sports is going to cost you is the taxable income from how much you win at the sports book.
Yeah. Fair.
They're going to make you so successful at the sports book that the government wants a cut.
That's true. But you know what? You can write off the subscription cost on that too.
That's right.
Because you make it money. All right. So I'm working on the YouTube poll. So I will send you the chat. Which is more true? The Titans look bad for Harbaugh bailing on them, or the Giants were that much more desperate?
Yes, so let's keep that in mind because a lot of these are A or B. A, Titans look bad. B, what was B again?
Giants way more desperate.
Way more so,
Which is more true.
Titans look bad as A. Yeah. Giants were super desperate as B. So,
yes.
Jack says A. Titans look bad here. Guy, IR Hoshi, Luke, EAG Reed, Burning Devil. Burning Devil says A, Titans look bad. But the rest of these guys all say that B, the Giants proved the Titans had a shot, but they were, in fact, the more desperate team. Giants were 100% desperate. They worked way harder than us. Well, through the media, at the very least. They're an organization that is happy to work through the weird NFL New York media machine. The Titans very much not a fan of working through the media machine, in that way at least. The Giants were desperate. The Titans look bad for sure. So it's a real mix in here. Desperation. The majority of folks, unsurprisingly, because this is a Titans fan group, say that the Giants were the more desperate team. That's more true than the Titans looking bad in this situation. But there are a few out and proud like Troy. Hey, the Titans look bad here. They wanted it more than the Titans, I'm assuming is what Big said. Giants desperation. Austin, your YouTube poll was young, but what does the YouTube poll say?
Oh, not even worth reading yet. It's
okay,
too
cool.
young.
Never mind.
I had to you only get 35 characters when you're typing in the poll option, so I had to do some real work on that, which took way too long. So that's costing us a couple minutes of data.
We'll circle back. That's all right.
yeah. So Daniel Crimmins says, how the heck do the Titans look bad? If I can click on the right thing.
All right. Good question.
They got, I think
they sat in the cut chair.
Yeah.
That's how.
Your owner was willing to get on a plane and fly to his house to interview him.
She flew from her house to here in preparation to fly from here to his house.
No, but again, her flying from she's got houses plural in multiple states.
I'm just saying that it wasn't like it's not just that she was willing to do something. It's that she had begun the process of coming to you.
Yeah, and so she was, again, her process was going to, I will stay out of it for all your Zoom interviews. When the in-person things start, I'll jump in on that, and which I think is fair. And so now,
an interesting wrinkle here. If this interview had gone through, by the way, I was thinking about this yesterday. I learned for the first time in the past couple of weeks that once your owner gets involved in the interviews, I don't know if it's an official rule on the books of the NFL or just like the thing that they've made very explicit, but the NFL has at least a rule that once you get in, you can't not be in anymore. So once Amy Adams Strunk involved herself in the interviews, she then had to be involved in all the rest of the interviews.
She commits to being a part of every John Harbaugh interview moving forward.
And I need to go and check.
Or is that
every interview is my understanding.
Is
that once you join the process, you need to be a full-time part of the process, which makes sense, right? Like they don't want you only listening to some guys and showing just, what's the optics of you bringing a guy who's African-American and there's already rumors that he's a Rooney Rule guy and the owner doesn't even bother to show up, that she shows up for the rest of them, right?
Now,
That's what you're trying to avoid.
I think if you keep the consistency of the owner is there for the in-person interviews,
right,
and that's the standard, then I think that's the standard.
Well, and that was the idea.
Right.
But I don't think she's been, because some of these initial ones have been Zoom and some of them have been
McDaniel
in-person.
yesterday. Right.
But what I think the important thing to point out is that like the McDaniel in person, the Stefanski in person, the Morris in person, I don't know this for sure, but I don't think that those were there. Like if they hold a full second round of interviews, a finalist round, and do in person for all of the finalists, I believe they will have those guys in person again. And I don't think Amy met with them in the initial in-person ones, that she would in the second in-person ones.
Okay.
So if she had gone to this initial interview with Harbaugh in person yesterday, I think I'd have to check the calendar. I don't know how many more of their scheduled scheduled initial ones they have yet to do. I know they're nearing the end, but they still have quite a few this week. I think she would have had to have like been involved in all of those because of the Harbaugh thing. Neither here nor there now. Just interesting to me.
But still, so back to the question: how do the Titans look bad in this potentially? Because you get left on the tarmac, guys. Like you got bailed on. You didn't get ghosted because he told you to not come. It would have been
That's an
even
interesting
worse.
Question. What would have been worse? You go all the way there, and it's very clear that he was wasting your time.
Get back on, if you fly there and then you just get back on the plane and go back home, then that's disrespectful. Like,
do you remember what happened to the Commanders during an earlier Ben Johnson cycle? Not the year he got hired last year, but the year prior where he was a very big candidate.
When they ended up with Dan Quinn in Washington, right?
Correct. They were the whole brass group of the Washington Commanders was on a plane in the middle of the air.
Right? The new brass, the brand new brass.
Yep. The basketball bros. We're on the plane, and mid-air via plane Wi-Fi, they find out on Twitter that Ben Johnson has decided that he's going to stay with the Lions, that he's not going to take a job. And that's the kind of embarrassment that
but this is
they avoided, I guess.
Sure, but still, like the plane, like it was talked about like all yesterday afternoon, evening was the Titans are setting up to fly to his home.
Yep.
So Harbaugh is leaving New Jersey, leaving the Giants facility, going back home. The Titans said, "Hey, we'll see you in the morning. We're coming." And he's like, "Okay." And then at like 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern ish around that window, don't come. And like the plane's gassed up, like they've got prep, like all that stuff is ready to go. As Albert Breer said, the plane was ready. And I bet your ass the Titans were going to show up at the crack of dawn and say, let's fire up the engines and let's go see Johnny Boy. And then now he's canceling.
They were. I know they were.
So that's how the Titans can look bad in this. If you just keep getting canceled, if you get canceled on, you're deemed as not worthy. Right. The perception is, right? So that's the idea of how the Titans can look bad. But now we're asking, which is more true? The Titans looking bad here for getting canceled on, or the Giants are just that much more desperate. And I think both have aspects of truth, but which is more true? So Easton, do you want to answer or what do you want to do? Okay.
I think I definitely think that the Giants were the more desperate team. I think that Harbaugh, it sounds like he had kind of already made up his mind pretty early in the process yesterday. He was there's a lot of uncertainty. I have been told, I'm not reporting this because I don't have this on anything close to solid footing. But I heard a little rumor that the uncertainty was largely born of him not being sure about Joe Shane, the GM, which is funny to me because it's like clearly he had the power to just tell them to fire him if he wanted to. I guess he just wasn't sure about whether or not he wanted to tell them that. Sounds like he's staying. And talk about a guy that's going to be sitting in the cuck chair, right? Like he's going to be Elliott Wolf in New England. Like I'm not sure what you're doing around here, but thanks.
Oh, I mean, he is very quickly, easily ousted this time next year if things don't go well. And John's like, I want to get my own guy in here.
True, but also if things go well, he just becomes the vestigial structure. Like he becomes the appendix.
Like Saquon who? What?
Right. He becomes like the appendix of the operation. Like he's around. We don't need him. We don't use him, but he's around.
Yeah, but he's still around. He survived. That's
right.
Right? What's the rule number one? Keep the job.
Hey, so you know what? More power to the Shane family. Good for them. In fact, now you're talking me into this. Being an NFL executive, but you get none of the blame. Sounds kind of nice. I bet Chad Bricker would like that job.
Ask Nick Holtz or Matt Nagy about that position.
That's right. They know a thing or two about that. I think that Harbaugh rightly realized that even if he had deep and abiding interest in the Titans because of Cam Ward or because of Mike Borgonzi or because of how much flexibility they had in the cap or whatever it was, or the new stadium that he's super jonesed about, I think he thought, man, there's literally, it's impossible for them to give me anything that the Giants aren't offering. Like, in terms of leverage, working one team against the other, hey, give me this because they're going to give me this. Hey, give me this because they're going to give me this. He had reached the logical conclusion of that. Like, he'd gotten to the end of the road because what else was there for him to ask for from the Giants? They had offered him their lives, their everything. And so I guess at that point, it just becomes a question of which market and ownership group do you care more about, which I think I'm sure he would rather work. New York is more of his neck of the woods. The Maras are obviously a more prestigious and established and what's the word I'm looking for? Stable ownership organization than what the Titans have right now. That's just a fact. And it sounds like whatever the divide in his mind was between Kim Ward and Jackson Dart, it was at least not big enough for that to be the deciding factor.
I don't think I don't even think Jackson Dart was on the list of things that John Harbaugh truly gives a crap about.
I mean, what? Why?
Because I think this is about the logo.
I mean,
I'm dead serious. And so
I hear you.
I'm going to answer the question. And by the way, the YouTube poll is I'm good. You guys are on it. 78% Giants way more desperate.
Okay.
And so I'm reading this from Ian O'Connor an hour ago. From the day he got fired, John Harbaugh was thinking about leading the New York Giants out of that tunnel. He was picturing himself in that hat and in that jacket. The history of the league means a lot to him. Frankly, it always sounded like the other contenders had no chance. John Harbaugh had the Giants atop his potential list even before he got fired. It was discussed. He knew it was a possibility the Ravens would let him go. In his mind, the Giants and Dart and the storied history of the franchise in the big city made most sense for him the next stop. So, like, Dart.
Worth pointing out, Ian O'Connor, Giants guy, Giants historian, guy who yesterday was kind of tweeting like a dweeb by the end of the night.
Oh, and he also followed up saying the Giants Invitational was canceled due to weather. So he completed the bit of the golf tournament updates, which I mean,
the last night he was like, "Oh, but he's not left yet. Somebody start playing Enter Sandman." He started tweeting fanfic, and I was I don't know what it is with these Giants guys. By the way, they all end up reverting to tweeting fanfic. I'm not sure why.
Anyway,
it's a common thing this year for them.
I do think the Giants were way more desperate, and the Giants are as storied as they are. They've got Lombardis.
Yep.
They've got more high-end success. They're in the New York, New Jersey market. All these things outweigh the Titans. I believe the Titans have a better situation current day on jump starting back into relevancy, but the Giants have a lower bar of relevancy. The Giants are going to get how many? I mean, the primetime games for the Giants next year are going to be like, what, 6? Like, I'm not kidding.
No,
like,
I know. That NFC East bump, baby. Hey, and the Titans might be one of them, by the way. Titans-Giants Bowl is coming.
Check that schedule. Yeah, I don't remember if that's where it's at, here or New York.
I'll check, but if it's in New York, you can go ahead and book that being the Titans' one and only away primetime game next year.
Well, and I don't think the Titans are going to have a home primetime game until they're.
No, I mean one and only primetime game, period, which happens to be an away game.
So again, I think this has the most to do with the logo of the New York Football Giants. That's what this is about. I don't think the Titans truly had a real shot. I've said that from the beginning. Is Jackson Dart promising? Maybe, but he just left the frustrated situation with Lamar Jackson continuing to get banged up and hurt. Jackson Dart is willingly getting hurt. Like, he's choosing to get hurt. Every time he wants to headbutt Cam Scatterboo pregame, that's just another one of those glancing blows that leads to all the concussion symptoms. That's the pre-concussive hits that all the offensive linemen talk about. So Jackson Dart is maybe he's a part of the process. He's a part of the formula. He is a tiny aspect of why John Harbaugh wants the Giants. John Harbaugh would have wanted the Giants coaching job if Jackson Dart sucked.
Yeah, that's where you lose me. I definitely think that the everything around the team minus Jackson Dart was the driver, but I don't think that John Harbaugh is dumb enough to take the job if he thinks that Jackson Dart is not going to work.
I think he thinks Dart can work, but I'm saying like I don't.
Yeah, but
I
you
think
just said that he would take the job if he thought he stunk. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think any coach is dumb enough, especially John Harbaugh, who's clearly not dumb, to take a job where they actively think this quarterback stinks.
I think the Giants mean that much to him, and so regardless, Jackson Dart might stink. He might be okay. He might be great. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards I think he stinks. And I think he's got a higher floor because he can run and is willing to run, and that ceiling is not very high.
TLG with a big super chat. Appreciate you, TLG. Says, let's be fair, outside of Cam Ward, the Giants' job is better in every way. If you're getting the money and power you want, why waste Tennessee's time? We did something similar with Shedeur. Oh, okay.
And the whole cancel the because we're drafting Cam. Don't worry about the meeting. It's all good. No hurt, no harm, no foul. I think that's probably John Harbaugh's a respectful human being. So I think he probably
I'm sure they are glad that he didn't waste their time. But the imaging is still what it is. I think that, and I've got a coaching openings rankings article coming maybe today that definitely has the Giants above the Titans for these reasons. I think that Cam Ward I think the quarterback is clearly better. I think the GM situation is clearly better. I mean, objectively, the amount of money to spend in free agency is factually better. And I guess factually, your draft pick is slightly better. Outside of those four things, every other thing that could possibly be on your checklist, I guess except for new stadium, if that's high on your checklist, is I just keep poking fun at the stadium line that the Titans are pushing. Sorry, Titans.
Well, of course,
every other thing has to be the Giants. Sorry?
But guess what? Guess what's going to make them a lot more money? The stadium. So that's
correct,
why.
But it's very clear that they're the ones that are pushing it because only the Titans care about it.
No.
Hey, let me finish my point before you go on this. Let me finish my point.
Sorry.
Outside of slightly better draft pick, more money, better GM, better quarterback, every other thing on the checklist and stadium, every other thing on this checklist is a Giants leg up. And so I agree with TLG about that. And I understand why he took the Giants job. One last thing before you talk about the stadium. I do think it's fair to as part of the reason why I don't see this as embarrassing, and I fully admit this may just be my natural sunny demeanor. I am by nature a realist / optimist. I lean optimistic for sure, even though people lately have apparently think that I'm a pessimist for some reason. I don't see this as that bad of a look for the Titans. I guess because my expectation was never that they'd actually get the guy. I do think I want to give Mike Borgonzi his flowers because I wrote within an hour of Harbaugh being fired in the first place that he owed it to himself and the franchise and the fans to run a full court press on John Harbaugh, even if he knew or felt strongly about him and the team having no chance of landing him. It sure seems like they had a much better chance than I ever gave them initially. And he ran that full court press. He had the plane gassed up and was ready to do what it takes and throw a Hail Mary pitch at John Harbaugh. And I'm glad that he did. I think that in the end, the Titans land somewhere better than where they began, which was everybody not even really regarding the Titans' job as a possibility. John Harbaugh to the Titans? Come on. No one thinks that's going to happen. Two, the Titans, I mean, we talk about everyone today is going to litigate was it leverage, was it not leverage, was he ever actually interested, which I don't really care to argue about because it doesn't matter at this point. What I'll say is just my opinion, and if you disagree, cool, I don't care. I think that the interest was real, and I think that if the Giants didn't exist and or weren't willing to give Harbaugh all the things that they gave him, that the Titans were John Harbaugh's second choice. I think that's pretty clear at this point. It may have been a distant second. It's kind of based on what the Giants were willing to give him. I'm sure it probably was a distant second. But I think that the Titans look better because of that today than they did beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think I have to defend ourselves too much. There is actual proof via you writing it and via me doing social media reels about how I've said I don't think the Titans have a chance to get John Harbaugh, but they should absolutely try. And they and the whole owe it to the fans thing. Like, we have been consistent on this. Go for it, see what happens, and if you fall short, okay. Because guess what? When this coaching search started, did we expect John Harbaugh to be an option? No.
Correct.
So now a job that has a higher prestige level than yours, the Giants. Like if you're playing NCAA football video games, right? You always have the 5-star prestige school, or the Giants are a 5-star prestigious franchise. Now, they've been down some tough times, but they're still 5-star prestige. Titans are like 3-star prestige. You're going to lose out. And so if Harbaugh was not available, the Titans are losing out on a good candidate to a bigger prestigious program. But now you don't. You kind of get to wash that one. Now the Ravens enter the mix, but the Ravens are in a different spot. So there's all that. So I do want to get to why I actually think the new stadium does matter. And then we'll talk about what's next. So we'll get to the why I think the new stadium does matter for this next head coaching job.
Again, we're going to do this? All right.
Yes, because I had a new thought. I
All
put
right.
something new. This is actually new. This is not just me saying what I said like last time we talked about this. This is I had a new like, oh yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Why didn't I think about that before? So we'll do that. But first, Barton Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They're online at bartonjury.com. If you need any help with your insurance policies, which I think anybody could need help with their insurance policies because it's very overwhelming. A lot of big 4-syllable Stephen A. Smith words that the insurance has in their fine print. It's, I got to look this up again. No, use the team at Barton Insurance Group to help you out, whether it's your health coverage, whether it's your home insurance, your auto insurance, if you want to bundle with that home policy, renters, umbrella policies as well, 401k planning. They got it all covered. If you're a company, like Zach and I needed a workers' comp, all of a sudden, like, oh, you gotta have a workers' comp policy? Workers' comp for what? Getting hurt writing on your couch? Yes, you have to have that, regardless of how many people don't work outside their house for us. So we had Barton Drury Insurance Group help us out with that. And they got set up and rolling with it. So check them out online, bartonjury.com.
Austin, this upcoming weekend is the best weekend in the NFL calendar. It is divisional playoff weekend, and BTA Sports is it's an essential tool, frankly, if you're going to be betting on any of these games. Download the app today using the link in our description below. You'll get a 14-day free trial for using that link, which is 11 more days than you'd otherwise get. It's a lot more of a trial run, which you can get for free. Just use that link. You will not regret it. It will make you a better. It's better for bettors. It's BTA Sports.
The new Titan Stadium does matter.
All right.
Okay. You're just
no. I'm just saying. All right, let's get into it. I'm ready.
The most important thing an NFL franchise can have, a sports franchise can have, is cash flexibility. Yes?
Sure.
Because did you actually think the Titans were going to be able to compete with the Giants on what John Harbaugh wanted in his pocket and then the pool of cash that he wanted for his assistants?
Yeah.
The Titans just fired a coach they're paying $3 million a year. John Harbaugh wants to be one of the highest paid. He was making 17 from the Ravens. Were the Titans going to?
You asked me, can they? I mean,
it's a big time
multiplier. Is a billionaire with a B.
But
she's paying Dan Moore, 7 times that. She can. She could, frankly, she could roll over the money she's saving on the L'Jarius Sneed contract this year for him not playing over into John Harbaugh's pocket if she wanted to.
Yeah, but then what about the assistants? Again,
another $10 million. It's a drop in the bucket for an NFL team. No, the question was whether she was willing, not whether she was able. I'm talking about cash flow. She clearly was able.
It would have been tight because here's the reality. Yes, Amy Adams Strunk and the Titans do not have the cash flow fluidity that the majority of
you're talking about this team like they're the Raiders or the Bengals. It's not the same tier of team. The Titans aren't the most cash-rich team in the league by any means, but they aren't strapped like that.
They aren't flowing. What the stadium does is open it up. Because when we talked about this last time, you're like, the Titans work in that building like 10 times a year, right? Which is true.
Correct.
10 times a year. That's when the players and the coaches are maybe the stadium practice and training camp. They're working in that building. And they're going to have more events in there now. But now the Titans get a domed venue that can have more and more events that opens up more cash revenue flow for the Titans. So now the new stadium represents a new cash flow. It's a new bucket. It's a new pipeline for Amy Adams Strunk and her franchise to have more cash, to pay players more guaranteed signing bonus money, to work and facilitate the cap salary cap structure easier, to be able to afford coaches at the highest mark. It's a cash flow situation. And I think the stadium is a massive player for the future. So if you're selling John Harbaugh or any of these coaches, you say, we're about to have a money tree. Help us sign the best players. Because you can say free agent wide receiver A is between the Titans and another team. And you guys are offering the same average annual salary. But if the Titans go, how about we move a little bit more of this into that line 5 money. Well, you know what line 5 money is? Signing bonus. You know when that's due? 21 days after you sign that paper. What if I move 10 million more into that bucket? You get that in 21 days? Is the other team going to be able to do that? Maybe, maybe not. But now the Titans can do more of that stuff. They can flex more on that and use more of their cash flow because they open up a new cash revenue spot. That's what the stadium represents in my mind. It's not the, ooh, cool, look, new stadium. This is a business leverage move. Does that make sense?
It does. I hear what you're saying. I hear an argument that largely pertains to why it matters to the Titans. I understand why you think it matters to the coach as well. I just don't think any coach is dumb enough to think. Frankly, I don't think any coach is dumb enough to come here and be thinking 3 or 4 years down the road with Amy Adams Strunk, because her track record recently with the last 7 guys is that dudes don't get that.
That's ridiculous.
Excuse me? Ridiculous? Austin. If you are a prospective coach interviewing for this job, you're telling me you're not thinking about how you're not considering the fact that, hey, if I take this job, I better succeed in the first year or 2 or I'm cooked.
Well, yes, you can do both things, dude. Like you can literally say best case scenario, worst case scenario, best case and everything in between. You're asking questions about that, no doubt. Well, you are thinking about that. You would be crazy if you're in there not thinking about that.
But for your Titans checklist, Titan specific checklist, the long-term upside, the things that might benefit you 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road are not high on the list, because they may be for your Giants specific checklist, or the Ravens or the Steelers, places where they have a history of letting guys figure things out. But for the Titans, you better figure it out now.
All right, it's on the list. I'm arguing whether the new stadium is on the pro
I never
side
said it wasn't on the list. I said it was at the bottom of the list.
And I agreed with you, but I'm still saying it matters.
Then what are we talking about? My point in poking fun at it this whole time is that it is clearly a talking point from Titans PR. I know whose pocket contains the phone right now that it came from. I'm sure of it. And
Of course, because they're building a new stadium.
Right, and so it's funny when Mike Garafolo tweets out this diatribe, and it's like, I wonder where that came from. And then there's basically a Titans PR signature at the bottom that's labeled new stadium. It's like, well, there it is. Know who that's coming from.
I mean, yeah, but if they don't talk about their new stadium, who is?
And I understand them wanting to talk about it.
Right? We talk about it. We see it. You drive anywhere around Nashville, you see that, and you're like, oh, sweet, hell yeah, that's going to be great. It's going to be cool. Mike Garafolo's audience doesn't know dick about, excuse my language, about that new stadium. They don't care. So if the Titans don't tell them, then nobody's going to care or know or remember. It's out of mind. I'm not seeing the stadium. So it's promotional. They should be doing that. It's a small part of a selling point for this job. But it still is a selling point.
Let's get to some chats and get back on the rails here. Brandon asks, if coaches don't really care about the new stadiums, I'm assuming is what he means, why is it always, well, the Giants have the bigger market? Where does the market matter? I don't. Stadium size and market aren't related. So I'm not sure what this. Do you know what this is supposed to mean?
If the coaches don't really care about the new stadium, why is it always, well, the Giants have the bigger market? Where does the market matter? So I guess saying Brandon is lumping the new stadium in with the market.
I mean, that's fine. But Brandon, like Nashville is a burgeoning city. New York City is the most important city in the whole world. So
they're just completely different markets. And
now, if you want to point out that it's really the New Jersey market for we can have that conversation.
No, it's the New York.
JT and Ryan get in here. We'll crap on your state, but it is the New York
television.
Market.
We're talking about TV markets.
I know.
Because what does that mean? So television markets matter because there is opportunity outside of the football stuff that you're more willing to be in. Like the New York teams matter to the national audience more than the non-big market teams, right?
It is the only reason why the Giants and Jets have been talked about at all for the last 10 years, in fact.
Yeah.
Imagine if the Titans or the Jaguars or the Texans, am I just naming AFC South teams, that they go through a 15-year run that those two teams have gone on. You would have forgotten they play in the NFL. They probably would have found a way to physically relegate them to college football or the UFL or something.
Yeah.
So that's why market matters.
Yeah. So and the stadiums don't necessarily are not in the same conversation.
Now, don't get me wrong. The Giants Stadium sucks. That place it stinks.
And it's not that old. It's like a decade
no,
old.
It's not old, but it's a dump and it sucks, and everyone that's ever been there hates it. So
and it's in a weird location.
Yep.
But again, you only work there 10 times a year.
So it doesn't matter. I agree. Other super chats. We got a lot of super chats this morning, Austin. Big crowd. Yeah. TLG, another super chat from him from earlier. Harbaugh is a BlackBerry. We need an iPhone. Love that fan brain, man. I love it. Let's disrupt the market and have a chance to take over. Hey, from your mouth, from your Twitter fingers to God's ears, I suppose. Can we trade for Tomlin? Derek says.
So you're saying
he's not coaching
Harbaugh's
this year.
Harbaugh's a green texter.
Oh, that is what he's saying. A dirty green texter. Derek, can we trade for Tomlin? Technically,
I was going to get to that next in the what's next conversation.
Do we really need to have a big? Okay, yeah.
No, I was just going to be a point. It was like Bork
Sure.
asked a question to give an opportunity to share with the audience.
Then let's go. Let's do it.
I mean, could you trade for Tomlin? I mean, technically yes, but that's a high price that you're probably not willing to pay.
That you're definitely not willing to pay, and also he's not coaching this year.
Yes,
you can trade for his rights. He's still going to work in TV.
But
he's still taking the Fox job.
Even next year, you'd have to trade for him. He's under contract through 27. So
true. So what now though? Like what?
Yeah.
You're gonna let me coach for the next year?
For sure. I mean, Mike McCoy would gladly take it. Rock says, I think this just marks the beginning of the real interview since Amy finally got involved.
But she didn't though.
But they've been. I think here's the good thing about this: props to Titans. They did not let this John Harbaugh distraction disrupt their process. All it did was create an open day today because they had two guys they talked to yesterday with Mike McDaniel in person and Arthur Smith on Zoom. Then they have somebody tomorrow. I can't remember exactly. We'll get to that.
Hang on. I got the full thing here. Okay. This is via our good pal Paul Kaharski compiling these things. Brian Dable tomorrow in person. Mike McCarthy Saturday in person. Jonathan Gannon Sunday in person. Robert Saleh Sunday via Zoom.
Yeah.
Which is that?
The next day after they play. They play Saturday.
I was about to say. So he will either be in a very good mood or a very bad mood.
Yes. So, so props to them. They have not allowed that to disrupt their process. Okay. And he just says,
can we talk about that real quick? Because I think you might be giving him a little bit too much credit there because they were gonna allow it to disrupt it. Like if Harbaugh had been like, "You guys are my team," they would have just said, "Forget the process. We're hiring you now."
Well, sure,
they would have done that.
But like, are they? They don't have to. I guess my point is they didn't get John Harbaugh. They don't have to do any catch up. Like they're still good. Like there's no like scrambling to play catch up here. They're fine. That was my point.
What I'm curious about now, and I tweeted this morning. I'll probably write about it at AtoZSports.com today. I'm because we were talking about how Harbaugh was going to be. He was the starting bell of the race, right? Everyone was sitting around, even teams that weren't in the running even a little bit, were sitting around waiting for that domino to fall. And then it felt like from there it was probably going to be a mad dash to the finish line because there are so many jobs to fill, and everyone's going to feel the pressure of wanting to get their guy before somebody else gets their guy. The Titans, I know that they want to go through all 16 or 17 or 18 or however many in-person interviews they actually do, because we're still waiting on an official confirmation for Kingsbury and Shula, by the way. We don't know.
I thought we got Kingsbury.
Well, we don't know. We don't know of firm dates for them yet.
Oh.
We're still waiting to hear about an actual thing that's happening.
Yeah.
Those two, again, we're expecting them to interview them. We don't know if there are dates yet. So whether it's 16 or 18, they want to go through all of those. And then in 4 days, so on, what is the 19th? Is that Monday? On Monday, that is when the embargo is lifted on all employed candidates to be in-person interviews. That's when I'm sure they'd like to begin to bring in a half dozen or 8 or 10 of these guys for finalist interviews, and then have all 6 or 7 or 8 of those, and then meet and decide and pick a guy. But that timeline is late next week to hire a guy. Will that be too late? Are they worried that will be too late because of the mad dash that might be caused by the Harbaugh thing? Will they? Because remember, with the Callahan interview process, they went through a similar deal, and then he was like their 3rd finalist interview, and then they didn't let him leave the building because he was scheduled to go meet with Carolina or something, and they didn't want him to potentially sign somewhere else. So will they do that again? I'm curious to see, because they've been as methodical as I've ever seen this organization be in a search. Are they going to see that through to the very dying end and march to the beat of their own drum, or are they going to fall prey to the madness that may be about to ensue?
Yep, for sure. One super chat, then we'll get to what's next, I promise. Harbaugh was never going to get the amount of power he wanted in Tennessee. The logical job was the one he wanted, not what they were willing to give. Right there. So, and then Jack just says, coffee mug. If we keep it up, pick of Buck Rising, we AZ.
Yeah, he's been on this. He wants a coffee mug. Jack, I'll break you the bad news.
Mugs, don't we?
We do, but not we're not sending you a custom coffee mug. We do appreciate your scribing this year. And if you ever if you're in the Nashville area and, you're out and about, maybe we can grab a beer sometime. How about that? So we do appreciate you being the scribe this year.
Yeah, for sure. I talked about Jack in a sales
one of our
meeting.
most loyal listeners this year.
I talked about Jack in Orlando in a sales meeting yesterday.
Oh, wow. Examples of our highly dedicated fan base?
Yes. I'm like, you guys just jump at taking roles on your own. And we appreciate that. So I just want you guys to know how much we appreciate you guys. I was thinking about you guys in a sales meeting.
Wow.
That's how much I care. All right. What's next? What is next for the Titans head coach search? We'll finally get to it. What is next? But first,
give up.
Window Nation. The actual interview hiring window is here. WindowNation.com is where to go for a free estimate to have them come to your home in Middle Tennessee and show you how much they can improve your windows. And guess what? It's a free estimate with no pressure, no expectations. All you got to do is have them come through, and they'll show you the demonstration. It's like a science experiment in your dining room. And that's what it was for us. Like they kind of showed what our builder grade windows are and how poor of a job they do of keeping heat or extreme cold out. They did the spray ice with a heat lamp. It was pretty wild of how they did all this. And then the windows that we had installed and how well of a job they do of keeping the temperature where it needs to be. Outside, inside. We're paying for it to be what we want it to be inside. Don't let the outside.
I am not air conditioning the naiborhood. You understand?
Yes. Well, shut the window and figure that. And then these windows.
I'm not heating the outdoors, Janine.
I don't know who Janine is in your life.
I don't know. I'm just imagining an old man that yells about his doors being open.
Oh, but who raised these kids?
That's right.
No, but Window Nation, great process.
Don't touch my thermostat.
Super easy to deal with. Awesome people to make you feel at home while you're at home and people are ripping out your old windows and putting in gorgeous brand new windows from Window Nation. Buy 4, get 4 free. A lot of different ways to finance them. Could be 0% for up to 2 years. WindowNation.com.
We're also powered by BTA Sports, better for bettors. Download the app, BTA Sports. There's a link in our description. It's very easy. Just go right below our faces on your screen and you will find the BTA Sports link. You will get a 14-day free trial. You will be a better, more informed, smarter, more efficient, better with the data analytics that BTA Sports provides. Dominate the game with BTA Sports.
Oh, we got people asking, where is Zach? Are you guys selling A to Z? No. And
yes.
Zach, look, we have a growing company. And so, no, we're not selling a company. But we have a growing company.
They gave me a great deal.
Zach and I have had to distribute the duties, and he's doing a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff. This happens to be under my list of responsibilities.
Listen, we're working hard to push Austin off the show too. Just give it. It's a matter of time, guys.
At some point, I've been trying to for years to do less. Yeah. No,
JT and I, former podcast host, unaffiliated with AtoZSports, years ago, hatched a plan. We're going to run a slow motion hostile takeover of this morning show, and we're almost there.
Yeah, I mean,
and then we met Ryan Roberts, and he was in on and it's just now it's a 3-on-1. You don't stand a chance.
Look, I've been trying to do less for 3 years now.
Just can't quit.
Talking to you, Sam. Easy. All right. What's next for the Titans job? Because Harbaugh's out, right? What's next? And I saw this. Albert Breer again tweeted this morning. The Titans will move forward and have an interview with ex-Packers Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy set for Saturday. Interviews with Robert Saleh and Jonathan Gannon on Sunday. Ex-Browns coach Kevin Stefanski remains a very strong candidate there too. Rude to Brian Daboll, who's talking tomorrow with the Titans, and not mentioned in this tweet. But them's the breaks. So McCarthy Saturday, Saleh on Sunday. I think Jonathan Gannon is a defensive coordinator interview disguised by the head coach title, and then Kevin Stefanski. So what is next? Wide open question. What's next? Yesterday, Mike McDaniel was in the building, in-person interview with the Titans. Arthur Smith, former Titans OC, now with the Steelers, still under contract with the Steelers. And that's something else that's important. Just because Mike Tomlin says, peace, guys, I'm out of here, doesn't mean his coaching staff is free to go. They're still employed. Contracts are not tied to the head coach. I think there's a lot of stuff here. Mike McCarthy is a popular topic, whether you like it or hate it. Remember, Mike McCarthy was not fired by the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy was sick of Jerry Jones' bleep and said, stop dragging me along. His contract expired, and Mike McCarthy quit and walked out. And guess who else had an expiring contract that Mike McCarthy walking out on Jerry Jones helped? The Titans, because John Bones Fossil also had an expiring contract. The Titans swooped in there and scooped him up. So what's next? I think I've got a new top three. Now that John Harbaugh's out, I have a new top three. Easton, you seem like you are monitoring situations elsewhere.
But I'm a known phenomenal multitasker. It's not true. I'm one of the worst multitaskers in the history of the world.
I'm sure your wife agrees.
And JT does too. And you would too if you ever drove somewhere with me. I'm notorious for getting into a conversation in a car and then missing an exit because I'm talking to somebody.
Me sometimes.
Anyways, but I did hear what you said. Top three now that
I have a new top three. Board. Yeah. I have a new top three.
Okay. My top three is just, it remains what it was. You just move up the.
Yeah. So
there's a new third,
I have.
What you got?
We have to remember one thing about this Titans head coach search and where they're at in their franchise. The Titans are on a Mike cycle with their head coaching vacancy.
Oh, here we go.
They fired a non-Mike mid-season with a top pick rookie quarterback for an interim Mike. And so now they are set to hire a Mike. That is the cycle that they are on. After they fired a Mike and hired the non-Mike offensive guy, which was Brian Callahan, Ken Wisenhunt. Replaced Mikes, fired midseason, replaced by interim Mikes, and then Mike Vrabel was hired. So I have a different Mike's ranking compared to my top three. But I do have one Mike in my top three, and that's it. No other Mikes make my top three. And I don't know if these are in 1, 2, 3 order. I think they're kind of just like tiered together. Kevin Stefanski, Mike McCarthy, Robert Saleh. That's my top three. In that tier.
Strong. Mine, let me just, let me pull up my The old 22 Titans candidates ranked. There's no longer anybody residing in the cartwheels department. So rest in peace,
You will
cartwheels.
not pull a hamstring or get vertigo.
I'm one of the best cartwheelers I know, but you can avoid those things as the old man that you are, I suppose. Where is this thing? Here we go. Nope, not what I want. Vamp for me for a second because I can't find this.
So people are saying like Dixie's like gross. It's my top 3.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Kurt's like, yeah, no. Ken says, I'm with you. I got into a freaking fight this morning between our show call planning and the show starting. I have a Vols group text with A to Z employees, including Charlie Burris, who is a scorned Titans fan with a lot of opinions and a very level-headed individual. He's not, and I love Charlie, and this is what makes him so entertaining, is that Charlie gets his mindset on things and is very stubborn about it. Charlie's like, get this Mike McCarthy, get this old washed-up geezer out of here. And I'm like, okay, Charlie, who do you want? And he's like, I'm down with Stefanski or Mike McDaniel. And he's like, McCarthy has won like one playoff game in the last 10 years. And I'm like, oh, what's the playoff resume of Stefanski and McDaniel, Charlie?
Well.
And I will tell you this, which of the coaching candidates the Titans are set to interview has the most recent playoff win?
Is it Mike McCarthy?
It's Mike McCarthy.
Who did they beat?
On this list, the most recent playoff win as a head coach is Mike McCarthy. Not that long ago, 2022. Mike McCarthy has 5 playoff wins in the last 10 seasons that he's coached. He's had top 10 offenses all up and down his resume, and he took 1 year off. People think he's washed up, old and stuff. They think he's been fired twice. No, he wasn't fired twice. He walked away from the Cowboys. And so there is one combined playoff win between Stefanski and McDaniel. And that was Kevin Stefanski with the Browns in 2020, which is a crazy, crazy achievement. So, and Charlie even responded with that Browns playoff wins do not exchange at the same rate as Mike McCarthy playoff wins. With the
This
Cowboys
is correct.
back.
This is true.
Which I think is fair.
They count for more.
But anyway, so I think Mike McCarthy, Kevin Stefanski, and then Robert Saleh are my top 3, and it's in a tier. There's not necessarily a 1, 2, 3 order for me at this point.
Curtis asks an important question. What is Easton's list? And then Johnny immediately after him, Johnny Chiefer, provided that list. So appreciate you, Johnny. Stefanski, Saleh, McDaniels. Those are my top 3 now. If you made me pick a top 3, similar to your list, flipping out a Mike for a Mike. I obviously am the McDaniel guy of this duo between you and I. I would forego any culture concerns of any kind to get that man's offensive mind within the grasp of Cam Ward. I think that the system that he runs would be a dream for young Cameron.
Okay.
That is all. Trivia?
No. Are we done?
I don't know. What else is there? What else is there to discuss this morning? We're at an hour 7.
So you add McDaniel into your 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I have McCarthy. Mikey Mack is okay. Do we want to ask whose 3 is better? I mean, do people like McDaniel over McCarthy? Because if they do,
chat, send your answers.
No, I'll
McCarthy or McDaniel. No, I'm curious. Just one word: McCarthy or McDaniel.
Well,
chime in
for the Facebook, but I want to get percentage on this.
Okay.
Which Mike? McCarthy.
Right, we need last names. If you just respond with Mike, we won't know.
No, I'll put McDaniel first, just for that. Which Mike? McDaniel or McCarthy?
Whoa.
Because
Facebook and YouTube, there's not a competition, even a little bit. McCarthy, McDaniel.
See, half the people don't even know how to say Mike McDaniel's name.
McCarthy.
He is
McDaniel,
a singular
McCarthy.
McDaniel. He's not
Mick.
McDaniels. That's Josh.
Mike Mick is his choice. McCarthy, McCarthy. Actually, it's more of a mix than I thought. McCarthy. I do think McCarthy has it though. McDaniel. Okay, never mind. McCarthy. So it's split. We're gonna need a real percentage on this on the YouTube.
I'll put it up. So
I know.
I am 100% down on Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator. Absolutely.
Right. I'm
Sign
not sure
me up.
anybody isn't, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole freaking league is down on that.
Captain obvious comment I could possibly make today. But yeah, that's my feeling. From what I've learned about what happened in Miami, Mike McDaniel went from being a part of the GM interviews and that process to being fired. Why? Again, from what I've learned from multiple people about that Miami situation, is that the GM candidates the Dolphins brought in, including the one that they ended up hiring, said, I can do better.
Mm-hmm.
I can hire a better head coach who is a better leader, who is a better overall head figure for this football program moving forward. And Mike McDaniel did a good job. The Dolphins were 2-7 at some point in the season, and they kind of fought back and clawed their way to a respectable season. And they benched Tua. Tua's an issue more than McDaniel's an issue. They both got fired technically. Tua's got a lot of money on that contract, but again, I think Mike McDaniel needs a stint of coaching resume rehab as a coordinator before he jumps back into being a head coach, which is normal. I don't necessarily, I think Harbaugh and Stefanski are going to be fired guys that immediately get head coaching jobs right after that. I think that's where the list stops. I think McDaniel, look, would the Browns hire McDaniel because the Browns are probably the bottom job in this cycle? Maybe. And he'll take it because it's a head coaching job. But Mike McDaniel also has to think this is his last option, right? Like, does Mike McDaniel want to jump from the Dolphins to somewhere else immediately? And then maybe it's not a great situation and it burns his last opportunity to be a head coach because he jumped back in too fast? Or does he want to go learn, be an OC, and then find his right spot next? So I think McDaniel should not. If I were advising Mike McDaniel, which I'm not, I would say take an OC job, boost yourself back up again, and go pick a job that you really think you're going to be able to succeed at long term on your second try.
Something that I heard, and I'm trying to remember who said it. Easton is asleep. Easton's not asleep. I'm listening. Sorry. Got a lot of things going on behind the scenes this morning. Robert Mays, the Athletic Football Show, he tweeted this many days ago, I think when McDaniel got fired. And the entire league in unison was like, I want him as my OC now. We have an OC opening, hire the guy. We don't have an OC opening, fire our guy and hire that guy. And his point was that he's like, working theory, but if the entire league wants you as an OC, you probably shouldn't be an OC. And I'll also adopt that as a working theory. I'm not sure I'm 100% rock solid on it yet, but that rings true to me. That like if you are a guy that is an offensive mind who brings an offensive leg up that is so desirable that 32 different teams want it, that advantage, that weapon is of head coaching value and not coordination value in the modern
I get
NFL.
what you're saying, but
that's one point. That's not the only reason, obviously, that I think you should be a head coach. That's just one opening argument. The rest is that I won't pretend to know everything about the Dolphins situation behind the scenes like I might with the Titans. But I don't think, based on what I know, that the disintegration in Miami was really a Mike McDaniel issue. I think that it was a roster built to fail at the end of the years. That's a front office issue as much as it is a coaching issue, more so. And a quarterback who, like, it may have been Troy Aikman or something. One of the primetime games the Dolphins did near the end of the year. I think it was Aikman because this is in his wheelhouse. I think he literally said that the only thing Tua brings of any value at this point in his career is as a pre-snap diagnostics quarterback. Like, he can diagnose things pre-snap. He is useless post-snap from a mental standpoint. He is useless post-snap from a physical standpoint. He brings nothing to the table at this point. He got benched. He became the third string to Quinn Sewers. Sorry, Quinn.
Dang.
That I know that's what people were calling him, and I think it's funny, so I used it. It's over for him there, and so if the quarterback was a total flame out, a quarterback that frankly I think only ever looked good the way that he did because of the system that he was being put in and the work being done around him, and then it's a roster that was built Golden State Warriors style to fall apart in the cold at the end of the year,
but
and not last.
Who wanted it that way? Because here's the problem: Mike McDaniel.
I think he wanted it that way because I think it all comes back to Tua. I think he rightly identified that Tua has to have guys that win this way.
Sure, but Mike McDaniel's very open, and he is I love listening to Mike McDaniel on podcasts and talk about his story and his path and all that because it's fascinating. Mike McDaniel's a very interesting person, and it'd be so fun to have him here to cover him because he's interesting. But he's also been very transparent of I was sitting there in the office and I was like, man, I wish we could trade for Tyreek Hill. And they're like, all right. And they went and did it. And he's like, hell yeah, let's go. So he also was a part of putting them in that situation with the roster that was set up to break because it's a Ferrari that needs a lot of maintenance. And so when you skip the oil changes, it breaks and then it's really expensive to fix. And I just think McDaniel needs 1 year, 2 years of sitting as an OC to kind of recollect and then be a head coach rather than jump straight into it. So I get your point about if everybody wants you as an OC, you're probably overqualified for that. That's a fair point. But anyway, all right. We got super chats, and then we can get to trivia. And just says, who is y'all's favorite head coach candidate who you're hoping they hire? We kind of talked through our top three already, so I can't remember when this was, but might have been before we did that. Mm-hmm. Ollie Sheed said, iSheed says, you think the Titans hire head coach before or after the Super Bowl? Thinking we have a head coach before February. At this point, it's going to be quicker.
Yeah, I think we have one before the Senior Bowl. I think they hire somebody next week.
Agree. Brandon said, Austin and Easton, if you had to pick right now, who's your pick for Titans coach? Who do you think will be the best for the team? We don't have time for that right now.
Well, I mean, I have an article yesterday. You can go and see my pick.
But we did give our top three. Mine is a tier. Not necessarily 1, 2, 3, but
and my official pick and explanation is available at AtoZSports.com. Check it out.
Tease, bingo. All right. Now let's do trivia. Wrap this thing up. Let's do it. Here we go. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai, making them a part of your new car buying process. They can help you out. Take your old car, trade it in, buy a new one, and save some money doing it, and do it with somebody you can trust because I trust them. Zach trusts them. We've been using and working with Wilson County Hyundai for years with AtoZSports. See Payne Bone and his crew in Lebanon. WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Easton, you are the trivia master today, so let me know when you are ready, and I will flip the graphics.
I am ready.
Boom. Man, it's so tight when I'm not having to share my screen. Real quick, and he just says McDaniel is head coach, Arthur Smith is OC, Denari Wilson is DC, and Payne Bones there's just so. All right. Orlando. 3.5.
That's his standard one, isn't it?
He did 4.5 yesterday.
Oh, wow. He's got a lot of faith in us today.
He just bragged on in a sales meeting yesterday, and you're going to cut us a minute?
You're dead to us.
God, that's brutal. What's the reasoning behind it?
To make us suffer.
Can we get like a 4.25?
Yeah. The line is the line. Vegas has spoken.
4.35.
Orlando has spoken. Are we ready?
You know I can if you said it 3.5, I'll just bet the over and I'll shave those.
This is true.
You got to give me something I'm gunning for. You got to give me an over under that I want to shoot for the under. 3.5, I can't do it. All right, you ready?
Yep, here we go. NFL. This AFC team defeated the Patriots 27-13 in the 05-06 divisional round to stop a three-peat and give Tom Brady his first playoff loss. I was 5 years old.
No, Colts.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure.
Chat? That sounds right. Would this be Peyton's first playoff win?
Baltimore, Broncos,
Well,
Ravens, Raiders.
guys.
Ravens are the most popular, I think. Broncos, Champ had the pick 6. Broncos?
He seems
Broncos.
confident.
Broncos.
All right. Nice.
Okay.
Good call.
Oof.
Way to call your shot. Later adapted into a film starring Sean Connery, Tom Clancy's debut novel was this 1984 book following a Soviet submarine captain who has seemingly gone rogue.
Yeah.
Red October, right? Yeah, it's Hunt for Red October. I'm sure.
Good for you.
Good movie. While Danny Glover made the character famous, Damon Wayans played Roger Murtaugh from 2016 to 2019 on this Fox buddy cop dramedy based on a film series of the same name.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, what is that show?
Oh, crap. I don't know the name of it. It's driving me crazy. Lethal Weapon.
Yep.
No, yeah.
No?
Yeah, Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. Movies grossing over 300 mil. This 05 sci-fi animated comedy follows a diminutive rooster named Cluck who tries to warn his town that the sky is falling. Chicken Little. Good movie.
Yeah.
Also, Barstool using the word diminutive. They didn't write that. No shot. This Japanese-American artist has Spotify songs with over 1 billion streams like My Love, Mine, All Mine, and Washing Machine Heart. Huh?
Not in my wheelhouse.
Me neither. Hey, man, turn on Washing Machine Heart. Run that track. I love that song. Clearly, he's very famous. I'll probably have heard of him, I guess.
The chat's still
Mitski? Who dat? It's an option. All right, sure. Never heard of him.
Plug it in.
As part of a retro return due to Stranger Things, this brand, most known for granola bars, brought back its 1980s cult favorite item, peanut butter boppers.
I've watched Stranger Things like the first few episodes of season 1 years ago. I don't know.
Well, I've watched all of it, and I don't know what this is.
Oh my god! Come on, dude.
This is not a big part of the show. And also, anything pre to season 5, I forgot because it was 3 freaking years ago. Nutri-Grain?
Nutri-Grain?
Nope.
There's no way.
Not even an option on the thing. Oh, Hidden or Valley. What's it called? Not Hidden. Nature Valley.
Nature Valley.
That's organic bars. Let's try it.
But
nice.
Oh wow.
In 2012, Miguel Cabrera became the first player to hit for the Triple Crown since this Red Sox Hall of Famer in 1967. They're asking me about 1967 Red Sox players.
Ted Williams.
Who do you think I am? I don't know.
I think it's Ted Williams. Hold tight.
I'll wait to see.
We need the Scots of our chat.
Can we get a Teddy Dubs confirmation in the chat?
Yeah, yes. Ted Williams.
No.
What?
The chat was wrong too. It's all right. Michael Dyer was the starting running back for what 2010 national title winning school?
No. Auburn.
What? Yeah. I remember that. That's a good game. Identify these two celebrities. Well, on the outside, it's Jeff Daniels.
Yep, easily.
And on the inside is a demon. I don't know.
I know that face, but I don't know.
I do not.
Man.
We've got the answer for the baseball. 1967.
Yeah, Carl Yastrzemski.
Get out of here. I don't know, dude. My parents weren't even born. Felicity Huffman? Question mark?
If that's a person. Yeah, we're getting multiple of them. So go Felicity.
Sure.
Carl Yastrzemski. 4 1/4 exactly.
Well, not terrible.
No, not 4 1/4.
Not terrible. A quarter if minutes
were
were measured in hundreds.
I thought Ted Williams was going to be a great pull.
Well, a lot of people in the chat agreed with you. So.
Yeah, I mean that was the trick question.
Classic Carl Yastrzemski trick question. Heck, you love to see it.
There's a Vanderbilt connection with the Yastrzemskis. I think his grandson played with Vandy Boys several years ago. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
what's going to happen today? Who knows? But make sure you like the show. Hit that like button. Who are the Titans? The Titans have an open day.
I'm just being told Mitski is a woman. Sorry to Mitski.
Oh. Titans have the open date here in the coaching search because they had an opponent cancel on them, John Harbaugh. So they get to reset and start tomorrow with Brian Dayball. And then McCarthy over the weekend, Sala and Gannon to wrap up their weekend plans to this part. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. I won't. Easton and JT will have the show. Buck will wrap up his week tonight on prime time around 7. So catch you guys then. Appreciate it as always. Thanks.